What if the real secrets to building a rich life aren't new at all? What if they were actually figured out like 6,000 years ago and they haven't changed one bit since? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore. We're going to take a trip back to the ancient city of Babylon to pull back the curtain on these powerful, timeless truths about money. This right here, this is the whole idea in a nutshell. What the richest man in Babylon is telling us is that getting wealthy isn't some big secret that's only for a few lucky people. Not at all. It's actually a system with simple, learnable rules. And once you really get them, well, that's when the path to a fatter purse starts to open up. So let's set the scene. Our journey starts in Babylon, which was, hands down, the wealthiest city in the ancient world. Just try to picture it. Massive palace walls, temples covered in gold, but also you've got streets packed with unbelievable riches right next to crushing poverty. It was in this city of crazy extremes that these secrets really took hold. And this is where we meet a guy named Bansir. No, Bansir was an amazing craftsman, probably the best chariot builder in the entire city. And he worked hard, day in and day out. But he had a problem that probably sounds a little too familiar. His wallet was always empty. And it was always asking himself, why? Why am I working so hard but have nothing to show for it? So Bansir and his friends, they did something really smart. They went to the one person who seemed to have it all figured out, a man named Arkad, who was literally the richest guy in all of Babylon. But here's the key part. Arkad wasn't born rich. He started with nothing. So his wisdom wasn't some kind of magic, it was just a set of simple, practical cures for an empty purse. Okay, so this first cure Arcade taught them, it's the bedrock for everything else. It is a completely different way of thinking about the money you earn, and it all starts with one simple, powerful idea. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Just let that sink in for a second. Before you pay for rent, for food, for anything else, you have to pay yourself first. And look, this isn't about being greedy. It's about actually valuing your own future. This one idea is the tiny seed that the entire forest of wealth grows from. Arkad made it super simple. He said, look, imagine for every 10 coins that you put in your purse, you only ever take 9 out to spend. What happens? Well, your purse immediately starts to get a little heavier, doesn't it? It begins to fatten. That one little coin that stays behind, that's the beginning of your treasure. So 1/10 or 10%, that's the magic number. And it's the bare minimum. Think of it as this, non-negotiable slice of everything you earn that belongs to the future you. Honestly, this is the first and maybe the most important step you can ever take to change your financial life. But, okay, just saving that one coin isn't the whole story. A pile of gold just sitting there in a box is, well, it's just a pile of gold. So the second cure is all about putting that money to work. It's about turning it from something that just sits there into something active, a dynamic force. And this is a really important distinction. See, idle gold is just a lump of savings you constantly have to worry about and guard. But working gold? That becomes a source of new income. It's like creating a little stream of money that flows into your purse all on its own, even when you're sleeping. What a beautiful way to describe what we now call compounding, right? Your money becomes your slave, working around the clock to earn more. And then its earnings, its children, they also become slaves, working to earn even more for you. That is exactly how a tiny little nest egg can grow into a real fortune over time. So, as your money starts to grow, you suddenly have a new kind of problem. You have to protect it. Arkad has this great line. He says, misfortune loves a shining mark. And so, this third cure is all about how to guard your growing treasure from being lost. And this really is the big question, isn't it? It's one thing to make your money work, but how do you do it without risking everything? How do you make sure that seed you planted so carefully doesn't get wiped out before it has a chance to really grow? Arkad's advice here is so simple and so timeless, it's almost crazy. First, he says, only take advice from people who actually know what they're doing with money. Then, always put the safety of your original investment, your principal, above everything else. Don't get tempted by industries or businesses you know nothing about. And finally, if a deal sounds way too good to be true, promising impossible earnings, you run the other way. So these 3 cures, pay yourself, multiply your money, and guard it, they're really the foundation of what the book calls the 5 laws of gold. They all point to these universal truths about building wealth that are just as real and as predictable as gravity. They just work. And what this does is it completely changes how we define wealth. See, it's not about winning the lottery. It's not about luck. It's not about some secret trick. Wealth is just the natural outcome. It's what happens when you apply these simple ideas over and over again with discipline. It's an achievable thing, built step by step. And of course, all of this amazing wisdom we've been talking about comes from this incredible little book, The Richest Man in Babylon. For almost 100 years now, its simple stories have shown millions of people the way to financial security. So, we'll end on this thought. Your future is like a long road stretching out in front of you. And these principles from way back in ancient Babylon, they're like a map. They can guide you away from the stress of an empty wallet and toward a richer, happier life. A life where money serves you. The only question left is, will you follow the map?